Okay.
Hey.
Hi. Welcome 2021, Carin. This is our first Convos Continued.
Yeah, this is cool. This is awesome.
Yay. Yeah, and I am so sorry that we're a little bit late. Timeliness is one of my core values, but I was busy promoting this and the prioritizing you because I've been doing Tuesday Facebook Lives. Carin, my Tuesdays are like so stacked, it's ridiculous. I'm like, then I need Wednesday to recover. It's a whole situation. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm super excited that we are back. We're back live on the Facebook. So yeah, and we're doing Financial February. So if you have not tuned in yet, we actually started the last recast in January was an interview that Carin and I did with Jen Hemphill. And it was all about like creating your money headquarters. But as you know, the podcast, when we first started it, it was kind of personal development. And so it was more based on like your personal finances. So last week we did the 10 best entrepreneur money books. And then today's episode was about like the fundamentals of the business monies. So yeah. So we're smack dab in the middle of it, right? There's only 4 Tuesdays, right? Because Financial February.
Yes, only 4 Tuesdays in February.
We only have 4. That's okay. Good. Yeah. We actually batch them, which Carin, I'm like, as podcasters, I feel like that's the way to go, right?
Like I think so. I'm pretty excited about that because it's just you get like what I said to Marcia, like while we were doing the task is like you really get into a groove, and like you kind of get into a rhythm. And so when you can like knock out all of it at once, and something we talked about too that we're starting, which we didn't really start until we did the last 2 February episodes, but we talked about keeping the episodes at 15 minutes because part of, we know who we're reaching. We know that, we have an audience that's full of people who are busy, and we know you love to hear us talk, but at the same time, you don't want to be, there all day. So we're going to be keeping the episodes to 15 minutes. And so, yeah, I mean, that's way easier in from a batching standpoint because, what is that, an hour for 4 episodes? Like it's easy for us to knock it out, then for Marcia to edit, and then we get it all, the videos and the little quotables, and like we just do everything at once. And then it's just scheduled out. It's just, oh, I love batching. I heart batching. That's my love month.
I do too,
and I batching.
I love it. Well, we love finances. We love batching. And I do like the more that I'm on Clubhouse and the more that I'm hearing from other entrepreneurs, I do think that that's like a key to success is like just getting into that zone and that mindset. And so, during this month, we do talk about like bookkeeping and keeping up to date on stuff. And so it's like, if you could batch your financial stuff, like, have one day of the week, like Financial Friday, where like you just spend like a few hours just catching, not even a few hours. Like if you're doing it each week, just set a timer, and just do some Pomodoro rounds and like get your bookkeeping done, or do some trainings, like anything. One of the things Carin and I said in the episode, I get us confused. I don't know who say what. Yeah, it was like you're never not going to be working on your money. Like regardless of where you are in your business, like there's always going to be something that you're going to be striving for new goals. You're going to be hiring more people. Maybe you're going to start having benefits that you give your employees. Like so it's, the financial aspect of business is always going to be there. So, I think batching finance stuff could be a good idea for business success.
Yeah, and we talked about in the episode, like, you can't put your head in the sand. It's like Marcia just said, like money is always going to be a thing. And so you have to like get familiar with your money, like be very intimate with your money. Like you need to know your money. And so batching, like you just mentioned, can really help you with that, because when you're doing it on a regular basis, like it's always top of mind. Your money is always like oh yeah, okay, oh, that program didn't really make me that much money, or, this is a cost I might want to think about cutting. I've been thinking about that for a couple of weeks every time I see it. So like just keeping that money at the top of your mind, and always looking at it and being familiar with it is very important. And so I think when you do have like a financial Friday, which I kind of like that, then you can make that habit, right? Like keep it, like make it a routine, and just a regular part of, your week.
Yeah, and I love that you touched on that, because I literally from like 2 to 3 today, which is part of like I'm like very chaotic in my thinking right now, but from 2 to 3 I attended a training, and it was all about cash flow and forecasting. And that's what she talks about, is like, you want to forecast like how it is your money's coming in and going out. And then, but then you also, like, you're not just forecasting, like you have to go through every month and like see what's working and what's not working, because like the answers are in the numbers, like, so, and yeah, I've always looked at forecasting, because I mean, even when I had my government for the office, I'm like, what? And it just would seem like so big and like expansive and just cumbersome. And I'm like, how am I supposed to predict the future? But that's the thing, is you're working from, something that you can, it's like a roadmap for you, but then you're always checking in on it and always, adjusting as needed. So that was a good use of an hour.
Yeah. And that is important. Like whenever I'm getting together with a new client, right? Or someone who's thinking about becoming a coaching client, and they're like, I just don't know like what I should be focusing on. That's like one of the first questions I ask: what's making you money? And if you don't know that, then I can't really tell you what to focus on, because I'm going to tell you go where the money is at. Like, if you're like, what should I focus on? I'm be like, what's making money? Let's do more of that. Like, so you need to know what's making money so that we can do more of that.
Yeah, I love that. And because one of our next levelers, that's her thing, is she's like, I want to get money, because we asked like that program is all, or that accelerator is all about like determining what's the one thing you want to work on. And so we asked at the very beginning, what's the one thing you want to work on? And she's like, I want to be making monies. And we were like, okay, so every single domino that you create in this first 6 weeks needs to be directly geared towards like profit producing activities, so right. And I mean, there's different phases, and so like Carin knows that with me, like there's been many years where like money wasn't necessarily like a focus for me, so like I didn't spend the time and energy on that. But then it gets to the point where there is that switch. It's like, if I'm doing this, I want to be compensated for it. And so you just get more clarity as you go on for some people, especially if you like trip into entrepreneurship as opposed to like willingly like jump into it. I kind of just like fell into it. So, but it's been, it's been a process. So yeah. So Carin and I are doing Clubhouse chats too, but we're actually going to be doing every other week. So on weeks that we have Convos Continued, we won't have Clubhouse chats, but we will the following week on Friday at 10 a.m. And those are going to be just talking about what we've talked about in the episodes, and those are an hour long. So you get the 15-minute podcast episodes, but then we can like chat and have like an actual conversation with you about it there too. So
and you don't have to have listened to the episode first, because we kind of got that feedback where people were like, oh, I feel like I should have done some homework first. And so we are gonna like kind of talk about what we talked about, so that we're all starting from the same point A when we have the conversation on Clubhouse. because we know that sometimes maybe you haven't listened, and you might be watching Convos Continued and not have listened yet. So we never want you to feel like you can't participate or show up and engage with us if you haven't listened to the podcast, because you totally can just pop on in here. Like, we'll just pick up wherever. So
yeah, pop into the comments and like, because we're here like while we're alive and well in the different social media channels, like, we want to know what it is that you want to hear or any questions you have, because we think this is just a wonderful way for Carin and I to give back on the knowledge that we've gained, on this path, and that, like if we can help you, we're going to help you. That's what we're here for. So
yeah, absolutely. And so in the next couple of episodes, we're talking, of course, more about money, and getting into the abundant, how to embody the abundance. And so I'm excited about that episode, and the Convos Continued. After that episode, we're going to have a very special guest. So definitely catch us in 2 weeks for that, because that you don't want to miss that one. Yeah, you want to be here live so you can ask questions.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that one. I can't believe the guest you snagged. I was like, dang, Carin with the pull. It's gonna be really good. I'm super excited. But so I mentioned that our first episode last week was the 10 top money entrepreneur books that have made an impact on Carin in my life. And so if you are not subscribed to our subscribers hub, you can do that. You can go to vip.honestconvos.co, and then that actually will get you on our email list. We send an email out is it Wednesday?
Yeah,
or
Wednesday.
Tuesday or Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Okay, every Wednesday, and it has. Okay, yeah. So, because the Honest Convos, the Convos Continued, but like, we just provide it all for you in a pretty little package there, so you can have access to the resources that we provide to you. We're proud
There's
of us,
no dancing
Carin.
on the subscriber hub, unfortunately, but
maybe we can work it
in.
The
dancing is only on Convos Continued, but
yeah, no, Clubhouse too, but only Carin and I see it because we're on Zoom.
Oh, I know. It's so fun. I love the way we do our Clubhouse, because we'll be on Zoom so that we can kind of just feel each other out and like, not talk over each other and everything. And like, or we can be like, okay, you take that one. Like, this one is you, Oh, am I frozen or are you frozen?
No, I think it was me.
Oh, okay.
Can you see me? I think it was me. Now you're frozen. Am I frozen? Carin. Okay, I'm having like the most Monday, Tuesday. Okay. It said my internet was unstable. I'm like, that's not the only thing unstable in this house right now. Okay.
Not just the internet. So no.
Right. And it's funny because I was just talking about this in the Prioritizing You group, is that like, now that I'm like full focused on financials, the financial full focus, like it's putting me in a place that's very uncomfortable, but I'm like, I'm okay with it. And I feel like that's part of the entrepreneur path, is like, you have to be comfortable with the things that cause you discomfort. And like, I mentioned in the episode today, that, I had it kind of figured out, because with Charm Cardinals, like, we were getting a set amount of dues every month. And so it was like, there was a cadence to it. And so like, I knew how much I was paying myself. I knew all of the subscriptions that were going out. I knew all the stuff. And then I dissolved the society and started consulting, and, still had the conference. And then, you and I have this, and then I have her hideaways too. So it's like, there's a lot of different pots on the stove. And, but I'm like, this is my future. This is my life. Mm-hmm. Like I'm in it for the long haul. So I'm like, I can't keep doing the like, oh, I'll just bang it out in, 72 hours, which is what I do. I just sit there, and it's like, it's not good. Like because you can't forecast, you can't analyze your cash flow. Like there's no real projection or anything like that. So like, I want anybody to know, like, if you're watching this and you're like brand new, or if you're a few years in, or wherever you're at on the path, like, I'm basically starting over, like, because I don't know, I forget stuff, Carin, like, and I had a bookkeeper for Farm Cardinals too, so I had outsourced that, but
yeah. It's all a journey. It's all part of the journey. So if you can relate to feeling that angst and discomfort, just know that it's perfectly normal. It's part of the journey. There's nothing wrong with you. Like, and like Marcia said, it doesn't really stop ever, because it's that term, new level, new devil. Like, once you get to your first six figures, then it's like, okay, then you get to multiple six figures. If if it's your goal, I don't know your goal, so I'm not going to put it on you, but if you desire to get to 7 or 8 or 9, I don't know, what your money goals are, but the point is there's always going to be this going on, this internal battle, this like, angst and discomfort around money. It's perfectly normal, especially. And don't think that like if you grew up poor or if you grew up with money, like everybody has money stuff. Like I've talked to people who literally grew up with nothing, and people who grew up and were like, their parents bought them their first house. Like I've seen both sides, and both sides have money angst. It's like there's just different. It's just different and some people, I hear this term sometimes that rich people don't have these problems. And I'm like, well, they don't have your problems, but they have their own set of problems. Like, so like, just if you're oriented to that, if you're like, okay, I know there's always going to be something, it's not abnormal that I feel this way, and just like give yourself that grace to be like, okay, but just lean in and keep going. That's the point. It's like, it's not that you're going to feel that way. It's that you don't stop. It's that you don't let that make you feel like I shouldn't be doing this, or I'm not going to go forward or something like that. Like, just keep going.
Yeah, because I think that's where I get tripped up, is like I get to the point where I'm like, okay, I have to get these numbers to my mother-in-law. And so I just like, I do a marathon for it. And then after I'm like, okay, I have like 8 months to 10 months where I can just put my head back in the sand, and it's like, no, like just have like a little bit of pain throughout, like, I don't know. Cause yeah, it is a way of life. Right. So it is. And I mean, that's all I can compare it to is like running and marathons. It's like you can train for a marathon or you cannot, and then you kind of just fail at it, right?
Yeah, that's not a good idea. Yeah. And it's like, it's unavoidable, because I mean, and when you own a business, I mean, the whole point is that you want to make money. And so like, you can't hide from your money. Like, it's just like, it doesn't work like that. Like, you have to know your money very well, be very familiar with it. And eventually you can outsource that. I mean, that's definitely something that I recommend outsourcing, is to a bookkeeper and a CPA eventually. Like, you don't want to be doing it yourself, but in the beginning, sometimes, especially when you're a solopreneur, that's your only choice. You kind of have to be doing it yourself. So in that case, do it well for yourself. Like, do yourself the favor of doing it well until you can hand it off to somebody else. So
totally agree. Very good.
So yeah, so check out that episode, because we did talk about some good stuff, and check out the episode with the books, because I love to read, and both of us, we read a lot, so we had some great recommendations on there for you to get started with, or reread, or read next. And then, and Marcia mentioned the subscriber hub. Definitely get in there, vip.honestconvos.co, and subscribe so that you get the resources that we add. And, you'll be on our VIP list, because, I mean, who doesn't want to be a VIP? Of course, you want to be a VIP. So go do that. And we'll be, dropping. We're back fresh. So we're dropping new episodes every Tuesday. and doing our Convos Continued bi-weekly. So this is the first one, and then we'll be back in 2 weeks and so on. And then the Clubhouse chats the opposite week. we like to make things matrixy around here. You got to think. So it's like Convos Continued this week. No, it's a Clubhouse chat. I don't know, but we'll always be posting. We'll post on Instagram and Facebook. Like we'll keep, we'll let you know. And of course, if you're VIP, you get it in your inbox, so you ain't gotta look for it. So.
Exactly. I was gonna say, yeah, we do share in the Instagram story. So at Honest Convos 8, you can see like when we're going on the Clubhouse chats, and then the Convos Continued. So yeah, but I definitely think signing up for the VIP, because it's literally like one email a week, and it's, it's just a good like reminder, like, hey, they just put out a new episode, like check it out. So, but yeah, I'm excited to be back, Carin.
Yeah, me too. Okay, we have a coaching call with our next levelers. So that's in like 4 minutes, and I got to run to the potty because I'm like a human and I drink a lot of water, which is annoying. So I got to use the bathroom, but so that's it for this live.
And I'll do it so I don't have to go during the call.
yeah. So, but we're happy to be back, and we will be seeing you soon.